Your new film, Shock and Awe, is specifically about the press and the run-up to the Iraq War. And I remember there was a lot of talk about George W. Bush sort of styling himself a king. He had a joke where he said it'd be easier if I was a dictator. And whether or not the press was tough enough on the Bush administration in the lead-up and asked enough questions, was skeptical enough. We just watched the press interview or having a press conference with Donald Trump after 478 days of not having a press conference. Having made this film and really sat and thought through these issues of the way that the press is relating to somebody who styles himself perhaps an autocrat, have we learned anything? Have we?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that the press wasn't tough enough in the run-up to the war. They were non-existent. There were only these 4 journalists from Knight Ridder, which we made the movie about, who got it all right. Most people just bought the company line. I mean, it was a different time. People were swept up in patriotism because of 9/11, and they just bought the company line. But there's a line in the film, and it's the most important line in the film, which says, the editor of the Knight Ridder was talking to his journalist, and he says, if the government says something, you have only one question to ask. Is it true? That's it.
Yeah.
The press owes it to the American public to try to get to the truth. It was difficult then. It is even more difficult now when you have the President of the United States saying that the press is the enemy of the people and calling news. And for the first time in American history, we have essentially state-run media backing up the president. Fox and Sinclair and Alex Jones and all these crazy ideas. It's incumbent now on the press more than ever to really hone in, and to have that press conference and not pin him down is it's incredible. I mean, our democracy is hanging in the balance. 241 years of self-rule is hanging in the balance. We open the film with a line from Bill Moyers, who used to be LBJ's press secretary, and basically says that a democracy cannot exist unless we have a free and independent press, as you talked about. Well, we need that press now more than ever. They need to hold this guy accountable, and they need to keep pressing and pin him down.
Yeah, and I want to play one example of I think somebody did do a good job, our own Peter Alexander, not just because he works with us, but on this question of whether or not Donald Trump believes he is above the law. This is questioning not Trump, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders, his spokesperson.
Does the president believe that he is above the law?
Certainly not. The president hasn't done anything wrong.
The question isn't if he's done anything wrong. I guess the question is, does the president believe the framers envisioned a system where the president couldn't pardon himself, where the president could be above the law?
Certainly the Constitution very clearly lays out the law. And once again, the president hasn't done anything wrong, and we feel very comfortable in that front.
I know, but you just a moment ago said it's not that clear. So I guess simply put, does the president believe he is above the law?
Certainly no one is above the law.
Except that the president said he was. So my only complaint about that exchange is it didn't say, the president said X, Y, and Z. How then is it possible? What is the rationale for that statement, and how consistent with the statement that he is not above the law? And I think, one of the other things we have to remember is that we don't have a diversity of voices in the press, because when we look at 40% of those who support Donald Trump, his kind of firm base, gets their news from one source. The fact that we're only getting our news from a few sources is also one of the problems that we have. And I think, to Rob's point, this kind of conglomeration of the media. But certainly access and the feeling of needing to hold on to that access when you have a president who will punish you for disagreement is something that the press has to stay vigilant about.
And so we're turning, I mean, Hollywood is now having to come in and be a part of the response.
Yeah, we're all a part of it. Interestingly enough, this whole last year and a half, 2 years, I've become very good friends with very principled and thoughtful Republicans.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people out there that don't care about party, but they care about this country. Unfortunately, not elected officials. Only the ones on the way out will say anything. nobody that is running for office or is in office now will actually stand up and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And you see these respective Republicans who are thoughtful, and they will tell the truth because we care about this country. And make no mistake about it, we are, as John Meacham points out, the soul of democracy. We're fighting for it right now. And 2018, this November, I'm telling you, a lot is going to go. I mean, everybody says this every time. It's the most important election. But this really is. If we don't have a Democratic Congress that can at least start the hearings to shine some light on what's been going on, this is the most corrupt presidency in American history. I don't care, Teapot Dome and Watergate and Iran-Contra. These are like child's play compared to, selling our country out to a foreign enemy power.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get any worse. It doesn't get any.
Yeah, it's pretty frightening. Thank you all for being here to try to parse through it, because it's tough stuff. Jill Wine-Banks, Maya Wiley, Rob Reiner, thank you very much. Don't miss Rob's new movie. It's called Shock and Awe. It's quite good, and I've already seen it. I have a bit of an advantage. It's on DirecTV on June 14th. It's in theaters on July 13th. And coming up, the latest attempt to destroy Obamacare. And Bishop William Barber will be here. Stay with us.